Hi everyone, and welcome to Unit 3, Lesson 11, Conditionals, and we're at Bubble 4. And we're going to be talking about conditionals quite a bit for this unit. And again, conditionals or Boolean expressions are questions that the computer can answer with true or false, at least in this example. So let's take a look at Bubble 4. Can you modify the values of the sprite properties so that each of the Boolean expressions evaluates true? We're going to read through the entire program to see how sprite 1 and sprite 2 are being created and which properties are compared. And then for each of the expressions, we're going to identify the sprite properties being compared and then, of course, change the code in the first 11 lines. Only so that way when we look at the console log, and you can see the console log is down here where it says debug console, to see if it prints true. So right now they are printing false. So let's take a look. I'm going to go drag this up here. And you notice we have two sprites. We have one sprite that is an apple and one sprite that's a carrot. Then it tells us that here is our comparisons, where it's comparing 5 things about these sprites. And right now, when we run this program, you will notice that in the console area, all of our comparisons are actually false. So they're not true. So let's take a look here and make them true. So the first comparison, they want sprite2.x to be equivalent to sprite2.y. So let's take a look at sprite 2. And they want the x and y values to be the same. So right now they're at 300 and 200. So right now sprite x is at 300 and sprite2.y is at, I apologize, sprite2.x is at 300 and sprite2.y is at 200. So they want them to be the same. So let's go ahead. It's up to you what you want to choose. I'm just going to pick the second one, sprite2.y, to be the same as sprite2.x, and I'm going to make that 300. Now, when I run this again, at least the first one should be true. Yep, if I look at the log, comparison 1 is true. Now let's scroll down. And they want now the sprite2 dot rotation to be less than 40. So let's go up to sprite2 rotation. You'll notice that it's 60 and they want it less than 40. So anything less than 40 will work. And we can say 30. Let's run this again. And now you'll notice the comparison 2 is true. Next, they want to take a look at, hey, is the scale for sprite 1 the same as the scale for sprite 2? So let's look at the scales. It's 0.5 and 1.5. So it's up to you what you want to change. I'm going to make sprite 2 scale the same as sprite 1 scale. So it's going to be 1.5. And you'll notice now comparison 3 is true. I'm going to scroll down here and look at comparison 4, sprite1.x, is greater than 150. We want that to be true, so let's look at sprite1.x, and that's that first value. We want it greater than 150, so you can go ahead and make it maybe 200. Reset and run, and now comparison 4 is true. So you'll notice that these Boolean expressions, meaning we're using operators like equal, equals, greater than, less than. You can actually even do a greater than equal to, a greater than, less than or equal to. When we're talking about Boolean expressions, we're talking about equivalency or less than or greater than signs. So that might help you in terms of thinking about those. So now, right now we're in comparison 5 and we want sprite2.y to be less than 200. So let's go up to sprite 2. The y value, we want that to be less than 200. Right now it's at 300. So let's see if we can actually make that true. So let's make it 200. And you'll notice though, now it's false. Oops, we want less than 200. So let's make it 150. And run this. But now you'll notice that my first comparison is false. So let's go back up to the first comparison, and our sprite2.x must be equal to our sprite2.y. So let's go ahead and change that x value for sprite2 to be the same as the y value. But yet we also need to make sure that it's less than 200. So that way that fifth comparison is also true. So we need to make this 150. So you may have to go back to make sure your Boolean expressions are in fact true all the way across the board. So let's reset. And they are true. Yours might look slightly different depending on the numbers you use, but that is how to do bubble 4. And then you can go ahead and finish.